A young man accidentally discovered a top-secret government file while trying to fix an old computer he just bought at an online auction. What he found out was not supposed to be known by anyone. It all started when Tom bought the computer for only $10. When he got the computer, it turned out that the hard drive was password protected. But since he had some free time, he decided to try to hack into the computer. And after several attempts, he finally managed to access the system. But it turned out that one of the files was encrypted. At first, he thought it wasn't anything important. But then, he saw the date on the file. It was from only 3 months ago. So why would a 3-month-old file be encrypted? Maybe there was something really important on that flash drive, and the previous owner wanted to make sure no one could see what was inside. Curiosity got the better of him, and he spent several hours trying to break the encryption. Finally, when he managed to do so, he found out that the file was a map with a red X marking somewhere in the middle of the city. There was also a small note saying this is where the restricted area is, but there was no information as to what the restricted area actually was. After searching the web for restricted areas in the city, he came across a list of places that were off-limits to the public for various reasons, such as military bases or government facilities. But none of them matched the description in the file, so he decided to go out and look for himself. The X on the map was right in the middle of an abandoned factory complex. He drove to the location and parked near the factory. He then walked around the building until he found a spot that matched the map. There was a small manhole cover. As he looked around, he noticed there were no windows or doors anywhere. Then he remembered the file mentioning a restricted area. Could it be that whatever was in the factory wasn't supposed to be seen by anyone? This made him even more curious, and he began digging in the dirt to find the entrance. After a few minutes, he found a keyhole and tried a few random keys from his keychain. To his surprise, one of them fit, and the heavy metal door creaked open. He slowly descended down the stairs and found himself in a large underground facility. The only light came from the emergency exit sign and the ventilation system. As he walked deeper into the facility, he heard a loud crash and then footsteps. Startled, he turned around and saw a shadowy figure running towards him. He turned and ran in the opposite direction. He didn't know what was down there, but he didn't want to find out the hard way. As he ran through the maze of tunnels, he realized there was no escape. Whoever or whatever was down there was fast, and he was being hunted. Suddenly, the lights turned on, and a group of men in black suits stood in front of him. They were tall and muscular, clearly not an average security team. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" one of them demanded. Tom was scared, but he stood his ground. "I found this computer and then this file. I was just curious and wanted to see what was down here." He held up the computer and the file. Their eyes narrowed and they exchanged glances. One of them reached out and grabbed the file from Tom's hand. He quickly looked through it, and then at Tom. "You should have never done that," he said. Tom was confused. "What did I do? It's just a map." The man shook his head. "You shouldn't be down here. You never should have come." Before Tom could respond, another one of them stepped forward and put a hand on his shoulder. "Let's get him out of here," he said. They grabbed Tom by the arms and dragged him towards the exit. As they walked, Tom couldn't help but look around. He noticed strange symbols and markings on the walls and floor. What was this place? And what were they doing here? He had stumbled upon something big, something he wasn't supposed to see, and now they were going to silence him. When they finally reached the surface, Tom was thrown into a nearby dumpster. He landed on a pile of old electronics and broken furniture. As they made their way out, he heard them talking. "We need to make sure he doesn't talk to anyone. Someone might have seen him. He won't remember any of this. It's best if we erase his memory." "That's probably for the best," another voice responded. Tom listened to them as they made their way out of the alley. When he was sure they were gone, he climbed out of the dumpster and dusted himself off. He looked around to make sure no one was watching him. Then he took out the file from his pocket and looked at it. He knew he wouldn't be left alone for long. He had stumbled onto something he wasn't supposed to see, and now he was being hunted. He had to get out of town, disappear, because if they found out he still had the file, they wouldn't hesitate to erase him.